If you're hearing this, don't worry about it too much. Hearing my own voice makes it feel real to me. I'm not sure if it was, but if that... Not sure if it was. But if it wasn't, then that means I'm crazy. Maybe I'd prefer to be crazy. So, I was at this rundown place, the Rubenstein. Not really a drinker myself, but they're the only place in town that has pinball. And it serves as a sexual hunting ground for college students of both genders and persuasions. I love pinball, and I love cleavage, so it's a nice hangout spot. You know what I mean. Sort of a weakness of mine. My uncle used to say I had the touch when it came to pushing buttons, so there I was, pounding away on the Addams Family machine. This girl comes up to me, easy on the eyes, tight booty shorts, the shampoo commercial rainbow, God. Shampoo raven hair. It was black. You know what I mean. Trying to be fancy, can't quite keep on to it. You know the type. You could bounce a dime on that tight belly and kill somebody with those high heels. We talked for a while, and I could certainly see she was out for a bit more than beer and pinball. Not that I was complaining. I ain't so bad looking myself. She asked me for a ride home near the end of the night, and I was all too happy to oblige. But then she asked me up to her apartment. My male ego was all too eager, I suppose. I didn't question it. Then again, her outfit didn't leave much to the imagination, and I was ready to see the rest. God, she fucked like a wild animal. Herself on top, holding my hands above my head. You know the type. She stroked my hips while we were bouncing on that squeaky mattress. God, I thought we were going to wake every other apartment in the whole damn complex. It was amazing. When we were done, she stepped out to use the bathroom, and I was laying there with the usual grin on my face. One more conquest, one more story to tell the guys. Not a bad conversationalist either, but that's not what either of us were there for. When she returned, she put her head between my legs, and I was busy cupping the back of her head while I stared around the room. There was something wiggling on the end of that tight little ass of hers in the darkness, and it caught my attention, but I blinked once, and it was gone. I guess it was the hormones talking. When we were both, satiated, we said some pretty cheerful goodbyes, and she gave me a number I could tell was fake. It had the wrong area code. And I was on my way. Wasn't about to let things go sour after a dynamite session like that. I don't mind a quick romp, but she left me sore in some pretty strange places, so I had to check myself out when I got home. Checking myself in the mirror when I got there, I saw imprints of her hands on my hips. I found myself laughing, wow, she's that rough. War wounds always make for, better bragging rights to the guys, and why not? I love girls that take what they want in bed. Turns me on. But when I looked a little closer, I noticed that the imprint of the thumb was on the wrong side. We'd been face to face the whole time. I turned one way and then the other, using my hand to try and figure out, where she'd been holding me or how she'd been holding me. She'd been on top the whole time, so it didn't really make any sense. Her hand would have had to have been backward. That and the memory of the phantom tail or whatever I'd seen made me go look for her at the Rubenstein the next night, and of course she wasn't there. I did retrace my steps. I found her apartment building on the edge of campus. It was boarded up, and it had warning signs all over it. The place was condemned, and it had smoke damage. I asked a neighbor or two about the place, but the fire had been years ago. I don't know what to make of it. Then I remembered something kind of weird. She'd been while we were there in her bed, she'd been holding my hands over my head with both of her own, so I wasn't really sure what had been holding my hips at the same time. And it's been bothering me forever. I don't know.